Welcome back everyone, I'm Cabe Plays Games, this is EVE Online, and today we're going to be taking a look at fitting mining barges, Exhumers, and the Venture, which is a mining frigate. Now, a lot of people have been very upset with the mining changes and they believe that their ships' fits have been ruined, but that's because they are too lazy to change the fit. I believe that they're actually better than they were, unless you do crazy fits. And quite often you'll see people fit their mining barges like this, with the damage control 2 in a low power slot and 2 reinforced bulkheads, and yes, this does give you a significant increase in your defence in terms of effective hit points, which is great if player pirates warp into the belt and try and kill you, but I believe this is a waste of time. I personally believe that mining barges exist to mine. Therefore, all your low slots should be nothing but mining laser upgrade 2. The easy way to see this is to take note of where you're mining and then come over to the zkill board, look up that system, and then scroll down the list and see how many mining barges have been killed by player pirates. None so far on this list. Here's a Venture mining frigate, but that was killed by an NPC. And scrolling down, still nothing there. Alright, what about page 2? Okay, I'm not seeing anything here. Here's a mining barge, but that was again killed by an NPC. And we're scrolling, and we're scrolling. Here's a mining barge, killed by an NPC. Here's a mining, here's one. Here is on January 23rd, 2021, so over a year ago, this one badly fitted retriever was killed by these people here. And here's another one, here's another mining barge, killed by these people here. So this is like 2 kills in a year, but that's it. So why would you kill your mining barge's mining yield by fitting damage controls and bulkheads if there's been 2 kills in a year? That means it's extremely rare. I'd rather just fit nothing but mining laser upgrades and maximise my yield. What you can then do is use the universal search or the search in people and places. Find the pirates that killed these players in mining barges, add them as contacts with most standings, then when they appear in local chat, they will appear with an orange square next to them, so you'll be able to see them as soon as they appear, and that means you should start to think about docking up. The other thing to do is to click this members list settings button here and show compact members list. If you don't, the list can get quite long, because it shows you everyone's portrait pictures. So I prefer to show compact on local chat at least. Removes the pictures and all you get is a long list. And if you really want, you can drag the local chat box out into its own little window. Just reduce it to nothing but a list and drag it as high as it needs to be. And then when you're mining, you just occasionally glance at this list. If anything orange shows up, then it's time to get out. Simple as that. Right, that's the explanation of why I believe that maximum yield is the way to go. So let's actually get into the ship fittings themselves, shall we? We'll start with the trusty Venture. This is a very cheap fit. It costs $500,000-ish. This is what I would suggest for brand new players. You have a medium shield extender 1 to give you more effective hit points and to boost your passive shield recharge. As we know, when you increase your shield hit points, the shield recharge increases. And we have a Multispectrum shield hardener just to give you a little bit of resistances, and an Afterburner just to get you to the asteroids quicker, or to orbit an asteroid as you're mining it, which makes you harder to bump out of the way. And the one and only low slot is a mining laser upgrade, as it should be, and it has 2 mining lasers. Of course, this can be upgraded a lot by using the EPS Gaussian scoped mining laser, which is the best of the Tech 1 mining lasers. It's got more range, it's got more yield, it's just better all round. And of course this medium shield extender 1 can be upgraded as well. Although the medium FS9 regolith is extremely expensive, maybe go for a restrained. Now, you will see a lot of fits, like this one, which has a survey scanner on it. And the way survey scanners work is that you click it once, and then it'll give you a list of all the asteroids in range and their material makeup and how many cubic meters are left and how many units are left in them. This is so you can make the decision of when to turn off your mining lasers, so you don't waste an entire cycle mining a rock that hardly has any yield. But you know what? These Tech 1 mining lasers only have a 60-second cycle anyway, and by the time you've done the math and worked out how many seconds you can save by turning this off, the cycle's probably finished anyway. So I would suggest not bothering with a survey scanner on a venture. Next up, we have the Retriever, which is the mining barge with the large cargo hold. You see, in attributes, mining hold capacity 34,000, which is much bigger than it used to be. It only used to be 27.5, and now it's 34. High slots are 2 modulated strip miner 2s. This will be the same on all. The high slots and low slots are all going to be the same. Nothing but mining laser upgrades in the low, nothing but Tech 2 strip miners in the high. Medium slots, we've gone for a Tech 2 medium shield extender. The shield regen isn't really a problem because all of these ships carry drones for fighting off any NPCs that appear in the asteroid belt. And even that venture, which had like 6 hit points a second and a couple of thousand EHP, will be able to fight off most normal NPCs you find in the Highsec belts. The only ones that might pose a problem are commanders, because they warp in with a couple of wingmen over and above the normal spawn, so they could give you a problem, nothing else will. So the EHP is all about the eventuality that player pirates do come in, and as we know in this system, this has happened like 3 times in a year. But it is nice to maximise your effective hit points just in case 1 or 2 do show up and try and kill you on the off chance. I mean, these ships are slow, they do take 12 seconds to align, they're very slow, but that's just the way mining barges are. And this should give you a decent chance of surviving until Concord show up and kill your aggressors. Now, to make this fit work, we are going to need a CPU rig, because the CPU is very tight as we can see, and we have some shield resistance boost rigs, just to give us a little bit more EHP. Most player pirates will be firing kinetic and thermal because they use catalysts which use antimatter ammunition, and that's the 2 types that does. But occasionally they will use thrashers which use EMP because they know that everyone leaves the EMP resistance quite low. So that's what this rig's here to do. Or if you want more tank, you can use a Procurer. And the Procurer has a much smaller mining hold capacity. As you see, it's only 16,000, but that is still significantly more than it was. Effective hit points 61. High slots and low slots are the same. Mining gear and mining gear, because we are a mining ship. Medium power slots are 2 Multispectrum shield Hardener 2s. And the rigs are all field extenders. I find this gives you the best combination to maximise the EHP. And when you come under attack from player pirates, you can overheat your hardeners, which puts your defences up to almost 67,000, which means they're probably going to need 4 or 5 people to kill you. But then if you've been following our tips on local chat, if you see 5 orange people appear and don't instantly warp out, then it's probably your fault that you're going to die anyway. Next up we have the Covetor, which is the barge with the highest yield and lowest mining capacity and lowest tank. High slots and low slots are mining gear and mining gear. Medium power slots is a compact EM shield amplifier, and one of the extremely expensive FS9 regolith compact shield extenders. Rigs again is a CPU rig and another EM amplifier and a thermal amplifier, just to try and balance out the resistances. I mean, the resistances are not going to be great. Your defense is only 18,000, so you're going to be able to survive 1 catalyst attacking you. But then if you're using a Covetor solo, then you're not really doing mining properly. A Covetor is most definitely a fleet ship and works best when it has fleet support, and your fleet support will keep you alive. Now we'll move up to Tech 2 and we'll have a look at the Exhumers. Exhumers are just bigger, better versions of the Tech 1 mining barges. They're just better all round. This is the Mackinaw. Notice that Tech 2 ships only have 2 rig slots. High slots, low slots, all mining stuff as it should be. Medium power slots, a large FS9 regolith compact shield extender gives you lots more hit points. And we have quite an odd selection in the rest of the mid-power slots. There's a Tech 2 Multispectrum Shield Hardener, a compact Multispectrum Shield Hardener, and an enduring Multispectrum Shield Hardener. And we had to go enduring because the cap wasn't stable unless it was enduring. And as we know, mining barges like to stay in space doing their thing constantly, so cap stable is the way to be. Again, we have a CPU rig here, a Tech 2 one this time, and a field extender 2 just to give us even more hit points. So the resistances are pretty good on this. Nothing's really below 60. Some of them are 75 and 80. The defences are 58,000, which is pretty good, and again you can overheat the hardeners if anyone does attack you, and it pushes it to almost 65,000. Mackinaw have an ore bay well over 44,000, so this is like the premium solo miner in my view at least. If you want more tank, you can use a Skiff. Skiff mining hold is still respectable at 18,500. High slots, low slots, mining and mining. Mid power slots, another large regolith compact shield extender, 2 compact multispectrum shield hardeners, and an EM shield amplifier. And the rig slots are 2 field extenders, again just to bump up the EHP. Again, the resistances are all over 60, so that's pretty good. You can overheat your hardeners to push them up all over 65. And that means your EHP is way up at 93,000, which should be more than enough to fight off even a small to medium sized gang of player pirates. And finally we have the Hulk, which is again the fleet miner that needs fleet support. High slots, low slots, mining and mining. Mid power slots, there's a large FS9 regolith compact shield extender and a medium shield extender Mark II. And then we have 2 compact multispectrum shield hardeners, the usual old friend, a CPU rig to make it work, and an ancillary current router which adds power grid, which lets us fit a large instead of 2 mediums. Again, once you're under attack, you can overheat your hardeners for the duration of that attack. Pushes all the resistances up over 57. It would have been nice to get a little bit more EM resist, but it couldn't really be done. As I said, most of the time they will be using catalysts, which are kinetic and thermal, so they're more important. So when this is overheated, it has defences just a shade under 45,000. Now I base my EHP figures off of you need 15,000 per attacking ship in order to survive. This is because, as we see, this is the classic ship fit that player pirates use to kill people. It's a catalyst with a warp scrambler, a whole rack of neutron blasters firing the Tech 2 high damage ammo, and 3 damage modules in the low slots. And as we see, it says it does just over 700 DPS. Obviously, you multiply that DPS by the length of time that Concord takes to show up. So in 0.5 systems, this is 19 seconds. So we'll do some math, and we'll go 732 times 19 seconds. Just under 14,000 EHP you would need to survive, so I always say go 15,000 just to be on the safe side. But we're not in 0.5, we're in 0.8, which means Concord show up in roughly 7 seconds. So they have 7 seconds to kill you, which means each of their ships is only going to get a chance to deal just over 5,000 damage. And if we've got 86,000 damage, they're going to need a hell of a lot of these ships to kill you in 0.8, unless your ship is fitted really quite poorly. And let's have a look at what I consider to be the weakest of the tanks, which is the Covetor, because it has nothing it can overheat, so the tank is the tank. So we have 1,800 effective hit points. Divide that by 732 damage per second for each catalyst. Then divide that by the 7 seconds it takes for Concord to show up and kill them. And they're going to need more than 3 catalysts to kill this thing, and this is the weakest of the ships. If we use a Skiff, which is by far the toughest of the ships, 93,256 effective hit points. Divide that by 732 and divide that by 7 seconds. they're going to need 18, that's right, 18 catalysts in a 0.8 system to kill this ship. So you're absolutely safe as houses with that. So that is the way I believe mining barges should be fitted. You are a mining ship, your goal is to maximise your yield and then use your rig slots and mid slots to maximise your tank. And as we said, you can look up the local system on the zkill kill board, and that will tell you how many mining barges are killed and when and who did it. And you can add the people that did it as low contacts, keep an eye on local chat, or if you see on zkill that lots of mining barges in your local system are being killed, don't mine in that system. It's really that simple. There are 7,000 or 8,000 systems in EVE Online. Some of them have a ridiculous number of asteroid belts. I mean, look at this. This system's got like 24 of them or something. There are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of asteroid belts out there, even in high security space. So just move somewhere that doesn't have player pirates in it. It's quite simple. Right, that brings us to the end of this very quick guide on fitting mining barges. I hope you found this informative. I hope you didn't find it entertaining, because nobody finds mining entertaining. Until we meet again, do take very good care of yourselves. I'll talk to you again soon.